PlayStation 5, should I put it vertical like this, or is it better to put it horizontal just like this? We're gonna find out. Those of you who are not new to the channel, you know that we've already made a video talking about and debunking the rumor that having your PlayStation 5 vertical like this was actually gonna ruin the system. But there is recent new information that may make me rescind my comments in that video, and we may have to consider some alternate solutions. So it turns out there are some recent developments in the PlayStation 5 overheating discussion. I'm going to talk about the different information that has come to light. I'm going to tell you what it means and what I think now is the best solution for your PlayStation 5. So first of all, let's recap what the original concern was. The original concern was that the PlayStation 5 uses liquid metal for cooling. That liquid metal may leak down to the bottom of the processor and ultimately drip through the seal that keeps the liquid metal inside and ultimately short out the system and ruin it. Now that has been totally debunked. That's just not happening to the level that we were led to believe initially. But PlayStation systems are overheating. Before we get too far into this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below. If you've seen some of our content already and have not subscribed, we want you to join our community. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get back to the video. Now first I want to talk about a new game that just came out. Final Fantasy 16 has been known and largely rumored to be overheating your PlayStation 5. It turns out that that is on one specific cutscene where, for whatever reason, the cutscene causes it to overload the processor and even shut the system down. A lot of users, especially viewers on this channel, have said that their system is not even giving them a warning, it's just boom, shutting off. That is a very real concern. Now, if you want to know how to fix that problem specifically on Final Fantasy 16, the best solution is, as soon as you know that that cutscene is coming up, skip the cutscene, pause your game, go on YouTube, watch the cutscene so that you know what it actually is, and then continue playing, and you have very little risk of overheating and shutting down your system. The real risk of allowing that cutscene to play is that the game will crash, you may lose your save point, and you will have to redo a certain part of the game to get back up to that cutscene, and then ultimately skip it anyway. Do you want to know which cutscene it is? Well, you'd have to look it up online because I haven't even played the game, so I can't tell you which exact cutscene it is. I've seen it, but I don't know exactly where it is in the gameplay part of the game. But that raises the question, is a vertical orientation for your PlayStation 5 good? And if I had it horizontal, would it successfully make it through cutscenes such as the Final Fantasy 16 cutscene? Well, we're going to answer that question shortly. But before we get to the real answer, let's talk about the users on this channel. So it turns out, I said in the video that you can have it standing up all you want and it's just fine. Since that video has aired, we've had hundreds of thousands of viewers on that video and we've had tens of thousands of comments. And it turns out that even though we may not leak the thermal paste out of the processor, there is still a chance that they went a little bit skimpy on the liquid metal and it does settle down to the bottom of the processor, creating hot spots. If you get hot spots, your system could still overheat and it could shut down. For that reason, it's always the best idea to leave it in this horizontal orientation if possible. If it is not possible, I know a lot of you are like, well, it doesn't fit in my cabinet. It doesn't fit in my TV cabinet. So I have to stand it up or I have to stick it behind my TV or something to just make it fit. So what do I do? Now in that other video, I told you if you have it in vertical orientation, you are suffering from overheating, the best solution, and I'm not joking, flip it upside down and stand it up upside down. And I'm not joking. I'm seriously not joking. That will make the liquid metal drip the other way, recoat the processor, keep it nice and cool. And you would have to develop a routine of swapping the PlayStation 5 from the normal orientation to upside down like every month, depending on how much gaming you do. Now there is a trick that you can do which will help it infinitely better, and that is to keep your system clean. I have made another video showing you exactly how to open your PlayStation 5, clean it out, and put it back together again. If you're not sure how to do it, I strongly encourage you to check out that video because it will walk you through exactly what I do to clean it very, very thoroughly. Now this system I've had since launch, and I cleaned it after 2 years, and it was in really good condition as far as dirt and whatever, but when I cleaned it out, there was a lot of junk that blew out. Now I'm gonna talk about how do you know if your system is suffering from a heat-related issue. And I'm gonna tell you a couple ways that you can know if it's suffering from heat. So number one is the fan is gonna be constantly ramping up to full speed. The best way to tell if your fan's at full speed is to go to the back of it. All of your hot air comes out the back. Get a piece of toilet paper or a paper towel, tear that off, and just hold it at the back here. If the fan is blowing a lot, you'll see it flapping around in the wind. You need to build a baseline. So just because it's flapping around doesn't mean that's bad, but you need to check it frequently and say, is it flapping a lot? Now it's flapping just a little bit, because you're really not gonna hear it. This fan is a lot quieter than your PlayStation 4 Pro fan, so it's quite quiet. It's really quiet, so you're probably not gonna notice. Now, the other thing that you may notice is a decrease in performance. You may notice some stuttering that wasn't there before. You may notice the game is lagging a little bit. Perhaps you'll notice a little bit of a drop in frame rate. That's because the PlayStation will protect itself. It will throttle the performance down in order to keep the system cool. I know those smart guys in the comment thread are gonna say, Anton, Mark Cerny said that the system does not throttle performance. That's not true, okay? Mark Cerny actually said that it turns out to decrease the power consumption by 10%. They only need to throttle performance by 2 to 3%. So what that would mean is, and I know there's a lot of percentages being tossed around here, a 10% decrease in power usage will have a huge impact on temperature and a very small impact on performance. 2 to 3% performance drop to get a 10% decrease in power consumption is a very big deal when you're talking about heat and heat dissipation. So it's not that the system does not thermal throttle, it's that you probably would not notice that it was thermal throttling. So in this case, the scenario I just described, you would be looking at the most taxing games, and if they start giving you stuttering, you may have got that 2% decrease in performance to try and get the 10% decrease in heat and heat production. And that's a lot, but that's the early sign that your system's having problems. Now there are other signs. Your system actually will warn you. It'll say temperature is getting really hot, and it'll have an error that shows up on the screen to tell you that. And ultimately the dead sign that your system is overheating, it will shut off. It will usually beep 2 or 3 times and then shut off, and that is definitely thermal throttling. At that time, it is definitely time to look at cleaning your PlayStation 5 exactly how we showed in the other video. And if you can, put it sideways like that, horizontal. It allows that liquid metal to have a level, even field. It won't drip as much out, and you won't get as many hot spots. So the question that we asked in the beginning of this video, is it better to lay it horizontal or to stand it up? The answer is kind of complicated, but I'll make it as simple as possible. If you can lie it down horizontally and maintain good airflow. So if you're putting it like this and then putting it in an enclosed cabinet, don't do it. You need to have an open cabinet with lots of airflow. No front glass case, no back cover. If you put it in a TV stand that has a back cover, cut the cover off so there's room for that airflow. Take the front doors off so that air can flow all the way through. If you've got good airflow and you can do it horizontal, that is the best orientation. If you can't do it where there's good airflow horizontally, then standing it up is perfectly okay. There are lots of people who have reported having their launch system standing since day one and it's still working perfectly fine. But there are a growing number of users who have reported having the system standing like this and are starting to experience heat-related concerns. Performance issues, system shutting off, lots of noise, fan running really, really hot. If that's you and it has to stand up, then try what we talked about where you flip it over like this, stand it up that way for a little bit, and you should notice those heat issues are gonna go away. I know it sounds silly, but it does work. So vertical or horizontal? Horizontal, always best in a well-ventilated area. Vertical if you have to. Sony designed this system. They made it with a stand so it can stand up. Obviously, they were expecting people to stand it up and they built it so that it can withstand that under normal use. So don't stress too much if you are standing your system up. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.